Hey everyone! Oh, my dog. Hello! So, I am officially 108 days, which is 15 weeks, and 3 months and a couple weeks away from being married, which is crazy. I can't believe that, our engagement total will be a year and a half, and that now we're just 3 months away. Like, that's totally crazy to me. But I wanted to do like a frequently asked questions type video when it comes to planning weddings. So I tried to come up with some of the best questions that I found that showed up frequently on different websites. So I'm going to start. All right, the first question. Do I need to include the dress code on the invitation? Do you want people to show up in jeans? Probably not. Maybe you do. Everyone's wedding is different. But if you have something in mind, then you should probably specify that on your invitation just so that hopefully people can be as comfortable as possible. You don't have someone showing up in a tuxedo to a garden wedding or something like that. So I think that's really important just to make sure that your guests have a good time and they don't have a difficult time trying to figure out what to wear to your wedding. All right. Apparently, people think that attending your ceremony is optional. So people actually think that you invite them to your wedding for them to not come to the actual wedding part, and they just, I guess, come for free food and drinks after. That's stupid. Let me just throw this out there. I'm not inviting people to our wedding to just come and eat dinner. We want you to be there to watch us actually get married. A ceremony is only 15 minutes of your entire life, so I think you can sit through that. Clicking cameras. This one is probably a big deal. Every wedding I've been to, they've allowed guests to take photos during the ceremony. But for ours, we're going to ask that people not do that, just because we want, when our guests are there, we want them to actually be able to be in that moment with us while we're exchanging our vows and getting married. Obviously, everyone's preference is different, but for us, that's what we've decided on. So they're gonna make an announcement somehow. I have no idea, but anyways. Okay, this is called the first year fallacy, and it says, someone somewhere began a vicious rumor that a guest can wait up to a year to give the wedding couple a gift. The twisted reasoning states that the guest can then be sure the couple will stay together before having to give a gift. What? We expect no one to buy us a gift. We didn't invite people to our wedding so they would buy us stuff. But to me, if there's a doubt in your mind that me and my soon-to-be husband won't make it a year, please don't come. That's ridiculous. That's really selfish. Anyways, okay, moving on. Do I really need someone to hold my dress while I pee? Well, probably. I think you'd rather have someone in there holding your dress, holding it and looking the other way and closing their eyes than getting pee on your dress. Can you imagine that? What's worse? Luckily, for my dress, it's pretty easy to maneuver by myself. But a lot of dresses are not that way. So if you think you might have trouble, I think the safest bet is to ask someone for help. Because, again, I can't even imagine the devastation and embarrassment of going to the bathroom and coming back to your reception with piss on your dress. That's nasty. Or just hold it. Wait. Just wait. Okay. This one, I know this was a real thing to wonder. What exactly do the bride and groom What exactly do the bride and groom do during the cake cutting? Cut the cake, maybe, just a guess. Yeah, you cut the cake. That's what you do during the cake cutting. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else. Can I skip the cake? Yes. Like I said, everyone can do whatever they want. But why would you skip the cake? That's why people come, is for the cake. and tasting cake. When we got engaged, we were like, oh, when can we go taste cake? And that was seriously, aside from the venue, one of the first things we did. We did that before we ever went and spoke with a caterer or flowers or musicians. Like, it was seriously one of the first things that we did, and it was amazing. They say that actually you don't have to do your cake until you're like 4 months out, but I cannot imagine waiting that long. Like, to me, the cake is a big deal, and maybe it's not, but to me... Okay, can I have someone besides my father walk me down the aisle? Yes? You can have whoever you want walk you down the aisle. You can walk down the aisle by yourself. Again, do whatever you want. Before my dad passed away, I had wanted him and my mom to walk me down the aisle, and now that he's not here, I had considered having one of my brothers or all of my brothers walk me down the aisle, but I just chose on having my mom walk me down, because to me, you know, no one knows you as well as your parents do. Anyways, yeah, whoever you want. It just should be someone important to you who has meant a lot to you for a long time. You know, it's a really important role to ask someone to walk you down the aisle, so I think it should be a coveted kind of position. Let's see. Oh. Planning invitations. I will be so glad to never have to do this again, because it's been awful. We went to one place, the first time we ever went to go look, we were there for like 3.5 hours.
It was ridiculous. And it was just like these massive binders. Like, I'm not kidding. Maybe a meter. This big? Like,
A crap ton of binders that were insanely thick, just full of different invitations, different styles, different everythings, and almost all of them were hideous. So, that was a terrible experience. I don't know why it should be so hard to pick a piece of paper, but it is. We ended up having to go to 2 different places, and the second place actually had a lot of the same books as the first place, but the experience was totally different. Like, the lady was really knowledgeable, and it was just effortless, really. So that made a huge difference, but it was stressful. But I guess my advice for that would be not to settle on anything. Like, if you don't like something, don't just be like, well, I guess this is the best of the crap. Like just wait, because something, you will find it. It's like finding your wedding dress, except I really had no issues finding mine. I put it on and I was like, yep, that's it. And I still haven't seen a dress that I like more than the one that I bought, which is really encouraging. So, yeah, for invitations, I guess also you kind of have to go after you've gone to your caterer and everything like that, because you have to know what the meal selections will be. So that's really important, just so you can kind of get it all done all at once. Okay. You know, that is another thing, is this whole process, whether it's the venue, it's your wedding planner, it's your cake lady, the caterer, you know, all these people are people for you to interview, and that's really how you should look at it, is an interview. Like, you will be giving them money for their services, so you will be employing them for the day, and you should treat it that way. Like, you want to know that they're going to give you what you want and that you're going to get a good value for your money. So I think that's really important. You know, go to these meetings prepared and ask a lot of questions. Like one caterer that we saw, we had a really good idea of what kind of food we wanted. And when we went to her, like, for example, one thing that we wanted was, okay, apparently my dog's possessed. But one thing that we wanted to have was beef Wellington. She didn't really know what that was. I mean, I understand, you know, if you went up and asked people on the street, like, do you know what beef Wellington is? And, like, do you know how to make it? Like, I don't know how to make it. I just buy it at the store or I order it in a restaurant. But, you know, not everyone will know. And that's fine, because your career isn't about food. You're not a caterer. But if you're a caterer, I feel like you should know what that is, right? And, like, a charcuterie board, she had no idea what that was. No clue. It's just meats, cheeses, and fruit. And even when we broke it down, she still didn't know what we were talking about. It was like, sure, I'll put something together. Like, well, no, you won't. So we did not go with that lady. Thankfully, she was also a terrible business person, so she never even, like, sent a contract over like she said she was going to for us to see pricing. So, sayonara. So, move on, and you'll find someone better. One really helpful thing that a lot of venues have are preferred vendors, and that's where we found a lot of our vendors. They've been used for enough weddings, and people can vouch for their quality of work and how good they are to work with. And that's really important when it comes down to it, because you don't, on your wedding day, you don't want to be having to worry about, you know, did they bring the cake, where are the flowers, that kind of stuff. You don't want to have to worry about that stuff. So it's really important to do your research and try to get first-hand accounts on people's experiences using these companies. So that's pretty much all my advice. I'll probably end up doing another wedding Q&A or some kind of wedding planning video. So it's definitely been an interesting process, and it's not done yet. The next thing that we have to do is tomorrow we are going to finally look at the tuxedos for the men. So that'll be fun. And then I still have to find my shoes and my jewelry for my first dress fitting, which is next month. I'm not going to fit in my dress. Anyway. Oh, and if there's another thing, because I think I already said my one little piece of advice, it's that no, I forget. My dog is so distracting. Oh, about, you know, yes, there is etiquette for weddings. And I think that it's a good idea to kind of know what they're not rules, because you don't have to follow them. I think that they do provide a good idea of what the most courteous thing is, or like the most traditional, so that you can decide what you want. You know, you're not obligated to do what Miss Manners says, but it is a good jumping off point. We're not doing things super traditionally, but we're not, you know, going rogue either. So, you know, it's just a really helpful way to be like, oh, that sounds crazy, or I can't even think of anything though. Okay, so I'm gonna look up. Sorry, I thought my dog was gonna throw up. I'm gonna look up a wedding etiquette example. Okay, so I can't find anything in particular. I'd read something before about how it's customary for the groom to first to dance with his mother, to dance with his new mother-in-law, and then to dance with the and dance with the maid of honor. Like, that's all nice and well and everything, but if he doesn't want to, like, I don't think it really doesn't matter, you know, but it's just things like that they say this is what you should do. And you don't have to. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. It's your day. Do what you want, what you're most comfortable with, and what you think will be the most fun, the most memorable. Do what you want, and that's my piece of advice. So, that's it for this video. I will be back sometime in the future, near future, with another wedding-related video. Give this video a big old thumbs up. And then please subscribe to be the first to find out when I have new videos. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye!